Hello, everybody. I think we can start because some people were really punctual. Welcome back again. After a day off last weekend, um, we're gonna have one more week off. But I want to talk about that later. Yeah, when everybody's here. In the meantime, we continue with our listening. Remember, we were doing a listening about things I miss from home. By the way, hopefully you have checked the links that I share with you. Please, guys, don't forget that we have little time, like just few weeks away uh, of the pet we won't have another pet practice, but probably we have to apply to that pet after the normal exam. So basically, we have two more two more weeks, and then an exam. Uh, After the exam, you have the other exam, other kind of exam. We haven't decided if we are gonna apply it or not. As soon as I tell you, probably yes, it's likely that happen. Yeah, in case that we don't have that exam, then I will inform you. Mhm. Okay, so we were doing a listening about that, but I think we're not going to do the listening. Instead, we're going to, oh yeah, so yeah, we still have time for the listening. Yeah, listen to six people talking about they miss when they are away from home. Yes, so where are they and where are they now? And other information you could uh, listen to, you can write because it's a long listening. So please make sure that you make your notes.
1.9
You take
Things I
notes,
Miss from
write in
Home.
a sheet of paper.
Brenda.
There's only one thing I really miss about where I come from, and that's the sea. I'm originally from Yorkshire, and although I came to live here in Germany, 30 years ago, I still miss the northeast coast of England. There's just something about the sea. Where I live now, there's a river, and there are some nice walks along the banks. It's lovely, but it's not the same. The thing about the sea is that it changes all the time. Not just every day, but every time of day. In my hometown, when the tide comes in, the water comes right up to the road, and then, when it goes out, there's just miles and miles of sand. It can take an age to walk to the sea. It's a source of amazement to me every time I see it.
Shona.
Uh, the thing I miss about Scotland is probably the weather, believe it or not. Up there, the air is quite crisp and clear, and the temperature is cooler. I find here in Madrid, it can be very hot and very humid in summer, and a little bit sticky as well. And then it can be really very cold in winter. I was surprised at how cold. Back home, they think it's always lovely and warm in Spain.
Martin.
All right. Well, I've been living in France for the last 25 years, and I suppose the things I miss most about Britain is, well, first of all, the obvious things, like every Brit living abroad. I miss some typical English foods. For me, that means curry, wine gums, digestive biscuits, brown sauce, porridge, and, of course, good old warm English beer. What else do I miss? Socially, a lot. I miss meeting friends in pubs. I miss the chats, the banter, just the way that people talk to each other. I miss that sparky British humour on a day-to-day basis. On perhaps a more serious note, I miss having a vote. In Britain, you lose your vote once you've been out of the country for more than 15 years, and I didn't even get a vote in the referendum. And because I haven't taken French nationality, I don't have a national vote here. So I don't get to vote anywhere these days. I guess that's one of the things I miss most.
Oliver.
So, things that I miss about the UK. The first would be bread. The bread here in the States seems to stay too fresh for a long time, and it doesn't actually make particularly good toast. And being British, toast is an important thing. And then, of course, there's work. I found working in the US surprisingly different from the UK. In the US, it's very important to be very upbeat and positive about what you can do, which, is true to a certain extent in the UK. But I think in the UK, it's kind of, okay, be good at what you do, but just get on with it. Over here, you're kind of expected to be a salesman, like you should be selling yourself and your abilities. I guess in a way, the Brits are just a bit more modest at work. And I kind of like that modesty. I'm not particularly good at selling myself. I just like to get on with my job. And I don't feel the need to tell everyone how good I am. But that's kind of the way of things over here.
Artem and Dasha.
One thing I miss is the food. All the seasonal products and the enjoyment of going to the farmer's market to buy goat's cheese from a lady that your grandma has known since you were little.
That's right. Apricots, melons, tomatoes just don't taste right in this country.
Yeah, and it seems that the most tasteless fruit here is a watermelon. I keep buying them, but every single one is a disappointment. I'll always miss the watermelons we used to get from the south of Ukraine.
That's true. But it's not the food I missed most. It's the language. My language. There is nothing quite like walking along the street and feeling like you are part of something bigger than yourself. Hearing your own language. I always feel a bit insecure when it's not my language. I think I'm missing something. It's hard to explain.
I know what you mean. Another thing I find hard is being away from home on our national holidays. We make much more of things like that in Ukraine. You just don't get the same feeling here of people coming together to celebrate in the streets.
Yes, it's not the same.
Carter.
I live with my dad on the East Coast, but I visit my mom in Florida lots of times a year. And the one thing I miss is my drums. I'm in a rock band, but I can't travel with my kit, so I have to leave it at home. It's like torture. I can't wait to get home to Dad's, sit at my drums, and get playing again. My mom says I miss them more than I miss her.
All right, so it was a long listening. We heard different people talking about what they come from or the place or the city that they are living at the moment. So I highly recommend an experience like them. But if you can in another country, you can do it in here in Mexico, in another city. So here are the answers. Brenda, what she misses the most is the sea. Yeah, she often goes for walks by the river where she lives now. No, Shona is not the one who dances. It's another Shona, so she misses a lot the weather in Scotland. No, crisp and clear in Scotland, a bit of windy, and in Madrid, where she's now, it is hot and sticky. No? Hot and sticky, you can say that. No? What about Martin? Typical English food, meeting pops, typical British humor, being able to vote. Yeah, he misses as well curry. He mentioned some meals from there. curry porridge, types of biscuits, sausage, beer, the way the people socialize. They can vote in France. No, in Britain has been away too long. No, Oliver, he misses breath and people being modest at work. No, because in USA they always show off. They always show off. They presumir, show off. Yeah, it's very common there. And that's why I don't like being there in the US. Even the American Mexican, they show off. Yeah, so they shouldn't be like that. Yeah. So bread in USA isn't good for toast. People in US sell themselves more at work than in the UK. No, being in the UK, well, you are dedicated to your job, and that's it. No, you don't have to show something or proof that you are the best. Well, depending on certain jobs, obviously, no, not all jobs are the same. And Dasha, they miss a lot food, their own language, no, national holidays, tradition. Well, fruit there doesn't taste right. They can get tasty. Watermelons. Autumn feels insecure when you're not using your language. Yeah, it's kind of experience if you go to other country, but the more you practice, the better, and the more you socialize, the more you improve in your English, especially when you're living in another country. And of course, the tradition and celebration, no? And the last person, he just talked about his drums, no? His drums. Okay, so those were the answers from these guys. Here we had another activity about certain vocabulary and expressions. Yeah, here for refers to the US, walking by the river is lovely. Yeah, it's referring to the sea. Yeah, them refers to watermelon, apricots, melons, tomatoes. Carter, he misses his drum so much he can take them to his mom's when he visits her. And Martin, the country, refers to Britain. No, you can vote. There refers to Scotland. It's much cooler. I would say colder, not colder and windier. Yeah. Okay, so let's we already did that for vocabulary and pronunciation, compound nouns. So we will be omitting this part because it's casual conversation. So let's focus on Unit 2, the ends of the earth. For this unit, we will be checking present perfect, simple and continuous, and passive present perfect and passive perfect. Yeah, so be careful about that. Reading, we're gonna omit the reading probably because we won't have time. Our plastic planet, yeah. Vocabulary, make and do, yes. Everyday English, talk about places, listening, bucket lists, and a formal email. No? So look at this quote. It says, who would like to read? Who says me? ¿Quién lo lee? ¿Quién dice yo? Volunteer? Not, yes, thank you. Take
nothing but pictures, leave nothing but footprints, kill nothing but time.
Yes, unique, no? Especially when you're traveling. Yes, look at the picture. It is a man who is holding, what is that? What device is he holding? How do you say that in English? No? Compass? Yeah, yes, compass. Yes, compass, COMPASS, compass. What do men or do people need a compass? Is there a particular reason what they needed or not? Hello?
Locate.
Yeah, locate a place, not to get lost. Yeah, so in the past, it didn't exist GPS or Google Maps. So instead, they created the compass, no, in order not to get lost, in order to know your way, no, if you are going to north, if you are going to south, west, east, etc. Very convenient, no, because your phone, but your battery dies, so you're not gonna do anything, or your phones it drops, you drop your phone in the sea, then it's not gonna work, and there is no internet connection in the sea or in the middle of nowhere. In the middle of nowhere, so that's why it's important, no? So how do people find their way nowadays? How do people find their ways nowadays?
With Google Maps.
Obviously with Google Maps, no, as I said. Does it make exploring less impressive? Or more impressive? Why and why not? Do you think it was much better in the past or now? It is very convenient, or yeah, talk to me. What's your opinion about that? Hello?
It was harder with the compass.
It was harder, but not so difficult.
But more interesting, more adventure.
More adventure, exactly. And nowadays, how is it? Hello? Nowadays, Monse, holidays.
It's a little bit easier, but you have to get internet first of all.
Okay. Yeah. And even you don't socialize with other people, you prefer to look at your phone and start the app, no? Open the app for Google Maps. In the past, I remember it wasn't used so often. Yeah, instead you ask directions, or well, you adventure, no? The journey, like it is like that, no? So I highly recommend when you are going to a place, if you haven't got internet connection, then you can take a handy compass, no? A handy compass, and it's not expensive. It's actually cheaper, no? Than GPS and things like that. No? Okay, let's watch the video introduction of the
Welcome to Unit 2. This unit celebrates the freedom we have to travel the world and experience different places and cultures. Listen to people talking about their experiences of long journeys, the planning and preparation stages, and the difficulties of travelling on different modes of transport.
I went on a long-haul flight to Malaysia. It was non-stop. And to prepare for that, I didn't get much sleep beforehand so that it would be easier to sleep on the flight. And also, I didn't really go to see any films or anything beforehand so that everything that I watched on the flight would be new.
The longest journey I made was back in 2011, where I travelled from Aotearoa, New Zealand through to Kautokeino in Norway, which is up in Samiland, up in the Arctic Circle. What did I do to prepare for it? I actually focused on what I was there for. So for me, it's not so much about the getting there, it's the purpose of why you would drag your body, your mind and spirit, around the planet to get to somewhere. So I focus on the purpose for being there, which was working with Indigenous peoples up in the Arctic Circle and and doing some tertiary education initiatives with Indigenous peoples around the world. So that helped fill my mind whilst my body was zooming 13 kilometres in the air where it shouldn't be.
The longest journey I ever made was to Jakarta. It took about 27 hours because we had a flight changeover. I hadn't prepared for it much at all because it was my honeymoon and I was doing a trip around Indonesia, and I was so focused on the wedding that I hadn't organised myself for the honeymoon, and so not anywhere near the normal amount of prep that I would do for a much more local holiday. So not much.
This is the longest trip I've ever made. I'm actually here for 3 months, and I just prepared for it by spending a lot of time with my family, soaking up everything that I thought I'd miss, getting myself real good into cabin fever so that I'd be, hopefully not as homesick once I left and more ready to explore, I guess.
Yeah, I think one of the longest journeys was coming here to London. It takes a very long time. I didn't prepare as well as I should have, but I just made sure I had all my tickets and my boarding passes for the flight. I had lots of snacks for the flight, and I made sure to set my watch for the time that I was arriving in, not the time I was leaving from, and just got excited.
So I was living in the Czech Republic and I'd just moved to a new apartment, and one night after a party at work I got the late bus home, and I knew where my stop was, but I fell asleep on the bus and I woke up in the depot and it was very cold. It was winter, it was about -15 degrees, and so I had to wait for the bus to go back. So I begged the bus driver to let me sit on the bus until he was going back, but he wouldn't let me do that. So I had to stand outside in the cold, waiting for 45 minutes at -15 degrees until the bus went back. So eventually the bus pulled back up at the stop, let me on, and it literally went round the corner 10 yards and there was my stop.
We had a difficult air trip for a skiing holiday one year. We were advised that our flight was leaving 4 hours earlier than planned. So we travelled up the night before and stayed in a hotel overnight. When we got to the airport, they didn't know that the flight had been pulled forward. And when we eventually found out what time our flight was leaving, it was actually a delay of an hour. So we'd spent 5 hours in the airport for an early flight that didn't actually happen. So that was a tad annoying.
One time in the Amazon, in Ecuador, we were on a tiny little plane, and I had my elder on the plane as well, and it was this tiny little plane. We were going into a village in the Amazon, and as we took off, she was sitting by the door, and we watched the little screws out of the door as it was shaking start to pop out, and so we were busy screwing back the door into place while we were on the plane. That's probably the most stressful I've been, but at the same time I was laughing. When you were in safe hands, you just trust that somehow you're doing the right thing at the right time. That was quite exciting.
I'd say one time I took a trip from my town up to St. Louis and the entire interstate was shut down for 4 hours. So we were just stopped dead in traffic with no way to get off of the highway or out of our car for a good chunk of time. That was probably the worst experience I've had.
I was on a boat and I was going, my granddad sails a boat and I was on his boat, and it was a really rough day on the seas and I was really little, and I got really seasick, and I spent the whole 10-hour journey just huddled in a ball with seasickness, and I won't go into details, but it was not that fun.
I quite like travelling by plane. I had a good experience when I was a kid. I was flying on my own, and I was meeting my grandmother on the other side, and they really took care of me and they let me see the cockpit, and I met the pilot, and it was really fun.
All right, so it was an introduction um, of the unit. No, basically, it's for you to inspire you in a way of traveling. Not now because of the pandemic, but you can start saving you money, and in 2 years' time, you will be able to travel and experience all those. It's a great thing. It's a marvelous thing to experience this feeling. Mhm. It's unbelievable, and you like it. You love it. So you're young, so you should do it. Right. So our topic is present perfect, simple, and present perfect continuous. So why are these sentences strange? Let's read them. Who would like to read them? Who says me? Yeah, no volunteer. Cesar, volunteer. Involunteer. Victim, yeah.
Me.
So, okay.
Uh,
Columbus.
Columbus has discovered America. I traveled all my life. I went everywhere. I've learned English recently. Oh, I've been cutting my thumb.
Yes, thank you. So some of them are awkward or they are weird. Why? It says Columbus has discovered America. Another name in Spanish would be Colón, no? Cristobal Colón. Has discovered America? Is he still alive?
No, he's not.
He isn't. So instead of doing that, we omit and is not has because he isn't alive. He died hundreds years ago. I traveled all my life. I went everywhere. Maybe it was a note from a dead person. Yeah, but I don't think so. I don't think that person is dead. So how can we correct that? How can we correct that, guys? I've traveled all my life.
Or I have been traveling all my life.
I've been everywhere. I've been everywhere. Lucky person. Number 3, I've learned English recently. Something is it's much better if you say, because you haven't finished, I've been learning English recently. No, it's much better because you haven't finished. Oh, I've been cutting my tongue. If you put this in an image, or if you imagine doing this, it's like you still cutting your tongue. Yeah, that's your tongue. You're still cutting. Are you gonna do tongue tacos or what? Are you cannibal? So instead, what would be the correct sentence to say what only once happened?
I have put my tongue.
Yeah, I've cut my tongues. Oh my God, I've cut my tongue. Yes. Okay, which of the verb forms can change from simple to continuous? How does the meaning change? It says here, let's read the questions. Cesar, can you read the questions? Are you there?
Yes, teacher. What do you do at the weekend? Well,
Continue reading. Number 2.
I don't like her boyfriend. I had a shower at 7. Someone's eaten my sandwich.
Yes, perfect, thank you. So which of these verb forms can change from simple to continuous? So some of them, not all of them. Can you change this sentence into continuous form? What do you do? Is it correct to say, what are you doing at the weekend?
Yes.
Yes, indeed. I don't like her boyfriend. Can you say, I am not liking her boyfriend? Is that correct?
No.
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 Not really. Yes, only like it is in present simple. No, there's an exception. I am likely to, but it's likely. It's like an adjective. I had a shower at 7. Can I say I was having a shower at 7?
No.
Yes.
No. No. Yes.
No. No sé.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. No, actually, yes, you can say I was having a shower at 7. It's the same, you know, I had a shower. Someone is eating my sandwich. Is it okay to say someone's been eating my sandwich?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, indeed, you can say that. The only one that is omitted is like. Yeah, like. You cannot do that with like. All right, so we have 2 short readings about Jean Barrett, a French circumnavigator. I don't know what's that. Circumnavigator. So Jean Barrett, Jean Barrett was the first woman to circumnavigate the globe. So as you can see, circumnavigate, it is like the map that you are seeing right now. Yeah, that would be circumnavigate, probably in a boat, by boat, or by a ship. Circumnavigate the globe, but she had to do it as a man. Oh, why do you think so? Why do you think she hit or she disguised as a man? No? No particular reason? Right, so she was born in France, 1740, to a peasant family. That means a poor family who work in the fields, no? Campesinos. She loved plants and became a self-taught expert. That means she taught herself on them, working as a herbalist. In 1767, the French government sent 2 navy ships to look for new lands needed as an assistant chief botanist, Philip Commerson. Commerson wanted to take a Barrett, but women weren't allowed in the navy. So Barrett, dressed as a man, called herself Jean, instead of Jean, and was given the job. All right. Yeah, so that's why they weren't allowed, or women weren't allowed to be on board. No. All right. So then we have Rika Mereniemi, yeah, Finnish circumnavigator. Yeah, let's read about Rika. Rika Mereniemi